My beloved, my precious child of light, if your heart is racing as you read these first words, it is because your soul already knows this is no ordinary moment. Something is moving in the heavens for you right now. And I, Archangel Michael, have been commanded by God Himself to break through every wall, every distraction, and place this truth in your hands before it is too late. This is very serious. Jesus is interceding for you, and heaven has not forgotten your name. He has spoken your name before the Father, and heaven's attention has turned toward you with love, mercy, and protection. If you have been carrying a heaviness that you could not explain, if you have felt as though something in your life has been shifting beneath the surface, understand that you are not alone. God sees what you cannot see. He knows what you have not yet discovered. He understands every silent battle you have fought without telling another soul. I need you to hear every word without allowing fear to control your heart. My child, the storm may appear close, but God's presence is closer. Before I reveal more, you need to understand something important. This moment is not meant to fill you with panic. It is meant to awaken your faith. There are moments when heaven allows you to recognize what has been happening around you so that you can stop walking blindly and begin walking with wisdom, peace, and spiritual strength. Before you continue reading this message, God wants to remind you of His word in Deuteronomy 14 verse 22, be sure to set aside 1/10 of all that your fields produce each year. I am the Lord your God. Everything in heaven and on earth belongs to me. I call upon you today to honor my commandment, sow a seed of 10% of all that you earn this month, into this ministry. The link is pinned at the top of the description box below where you can support this ministry and sow your seed. Do not withhold what is holy to me. Bring your tithes to advance my kingdom and rescue lost souls. Step out in faith and obey my voice, for every seed you sow in my name will not be forgotten, and your reward shall be great in heaven for eternity. Sow your 10% seed today, right at this moment, my beloved chosen one. If you have obeyed God's command and sown your 10% seed today, reply with, I have sown, in the comments section below. The thing that will preserve your peace is not fear. It is trust. I can feel you doubting. Why now? Why me? Why have I experienced so many difficult moments? Because God's eyes have been on you since the day you were born. You have been walking through shadows lately, and there are things happening in the spiritual realm that you have not yet understood. Some things that confused you were not meant to destroy you. They were meant to redirect you. Some doors closed because God knew what was waiting behind them. There is a reason you arrived at this message in this moment. Heaven has allowed you to hear a reminder that you are protected, watched over, and deeply loved. Someone's decision, someone's hidden intention, or someone's careless action may attempt to disturb something you hold dear. But my beloved, I am here to place a shield before you. You do not have to respond to every attack. You do not have to answer every accusation. You do not have to prove yourself to people who have already decided to misunderstand you. You see, Jesus is not distant from your struggle. He is compassionate toward you. He understands your tears, your exhaustion, your unanswered questions, and the moments when you have wondered whether your prayers were being heard. Every time your name is lifted before God, heaven sees the life behind that name. The light of God is searching for the places where you feel weakest, not to expose you, but to strengthen you. If you feel surrounded by uncertainty, breathe. If you feel tired, breathe. If your mind has been filled with thoughts about what might happen next, release those thoughts into God's hands. The truth is that darkness does not have the final word over a child who chooses faith. The enemy may attempt to create confusion, but confusion does not have to become your home. Fear may knock at your door, but you do not have to invite it inside. My child, the truth is that there are forces that would love to see you discouraged. They would love to make you believe that your past defines your future. They would love to convince you that because something went wrong before, it must always go wrong again. But that is not the voice of God. God speaks restoration. God speaks wisdom. God speaks courage. God speaks peace even when circumstances have not yet changed. And the choice between fear and faith is being made inside your heart right now. You may not be able to control everything happening around you, but you can choose how you will stand within it. You can choose to pray before reacting. You can choose patience instead of panic. You can choose wisdom instead of anger. You can choose to protect your peace instead of giving every person access to your emotions. I am telling you this because I love you with the love of a servant who has been sent to protect and encourage you. If I could stand beside you physically, I would stand between you and every danger that threatens your peace. I would raise my sword against every lie that has been spoken over your life. I would remind you that you are not abandoned. But more importantly, I would point you toward God, because your ultimate strength does not come from me. It comes from the one who created you. Write divine number 111 in the comments if this message speaks to you. I can feel the weight in your chest. Perhaps you have been carrying something that nobody else knows about. Perhaps there is a conversation you have been afraid to have. Perhaps there is a decision you have delayed because you do not know which direction is safe. Perhaps you have been asking God for a sign because you are exhausted from making choices without certainty. Listen carefully. You do not need to know every step before taking the next faithful step. God often gives direction one step at a time. You may not receive the entire map, but you can receive enough light for today. You can ask for wisdom. You can ask for discernment. You can ask for peace. You can ask God to close what needs to be closed and open what needs to be opened. I have been holding this message for you, and the Father's voice has been both fierce and gentle. Fierce against the darkness, gentle toward you. The command is simple: remind my child that they are not alone. Remind them that fear is not their inheritance. Remind them that the battle does not belong entirely to them. There are things God is handling that you will never see. You may remember moments from your past when something almost went terribly wrong, yet somehow you were protected. Perhaps you called it luck. Perhaps you thought circumstances simply changed. Perhaps you never understood why one opportunity disappeared only to be replaced by another. Sometimes protection does not look like getting what you wanted. Sometimes protection looks like being prevented from receiving what would have harmed you. My beloved, do not mourn every closed door. Some closed doors were mercy. Some delays were protection. Some disappointments were redirection. Some people left because their presence was no longer aligned with the person you were becoming. You may not understand it yet, but God can use even painful transitions to create a stronger foundation. There are people who may misunderstand your silence. Let them. There are people who may criticize your choices. Let them. There are people who may attempt to pull you into arguments. You do not have to follow them into places where your peace disappears. You can walk away without hatred. You can forgive without returning to harmful situations. You can love people without allowing them to control your life. The Lord says that your next season requires discernment. Not everyone who smiles at you is meant to walk beside you. Not every opportunity is an assignment. Not every open door is a blessing. Some opportunities look attractive but carry confusion. Some relationships look exciting but carry instability. Some choices promise immediate relief but create long-term pain. That is why your spiritual senses must become sharper. Ask God to help you recognize what is genuine. Ask Him to help you distinguish urgency from pressure, conviction from fear, wisdom from suspicion, and faith from impulsiveness. You do not have to make every decision immediately. Sometimes the most powerful answer is to wait until your spirit becomes peaceful. Write divine number 222 in the comments if you receive this word. My child, there are moments when heaven is protecting you quietly. You may not hear a trumpet. You may not see an angel standing in your room. Yet protection can be present even when your physical eyes cannot perceive it. The absence of visible evidence does not mean the absence of divine care. I see angels surrounding your life. They are not symbols of decoration. They represent the reality of God's command over the unseen. Some stand at the edges of your home. Some accompany you in places where you feel alone. Some guard circumstances you will never know were dangerous. Some bring comfort when your heart feels too tired to continue. You have survived things that once seemed impossible. You have walked through seasons that you thought would break you, and yet you are still here. That should remind you of something. Your story is not finished. The chapter that hurt you does not have to become the final chapter. The mistake you made does not have to become your identity. The rejection you experienced does not have to determine your worth. Jesus sees the places in you that other people never see. He sees the child beneath the responsibilities. He sees the person behind the smile. He knows when you say, "I am fine," while your heart is quietly asking for help. He knows the nights when you replay conversations and wonder whether you said the wrong thing. He knows the mornings when you wake up already tired. You do not have to hide those feelings from God. You can bring them honestly. You can say, "Father, I am afraid." You can say, "Father, I am tired." You can say, "Father, I do not understand." Faith does not require pretending that pain does not exist. Faith means bringing the pain into the presence of the one who can transform it. My beloved, I want you to understand that protection does not always mean that nothing difficult will happen. Protection can mean that when difficulty arrives, you will not be destroyed by it. Protection can mean that you will receive wisdom at the right moment. Protection can mean that the wrong person reveals themselves before you trust them completely. Protection can mean that a delay gives you time to prepare. There will be moments when something unexpected happens and you immediately want to assume the worst. Do not allow your first emotion to become your final conclusion. Give yourself time. Pray. Think carefully. Ask for wisdom. Look at the facts. Then move with peace. A child of God does not have to live in constant reaction. The enemy wants confusion because confused people make decisions from panic. But God brings clarity. When your heart is calm, you can see what you could not see when you were overwhelmed. When you slow down, you can recognize patterns. When you stop chasing approval, you can hear your own conscience more clearly. Write divine number 333 in the comments if you believe heaven is guiding you. My beloved, I see the financial worries you have carried. I see the pressure that comes when bills, responsibilities, and uncertain circumstances seem to compete for your attention. Money can become a source of fear when you feel there is never enough. But fear will not create wisdom. Panic will not create stability. You need clarity. Do not be ashamed of wanting a better life. It is not wrong to desire stability. It is not wrong to want to provide for your family. It is not wrong to want freedom from constant financial pressure. But remember that your worth is not measured by the number in an account. Your value existed before your possessions. Your identity is greater than your circumstances. Ask God for wisdom with what you already have. Learn to distinguish needs from impulses. Be patient with decisions involving money. Do not allow someone else's lifestyle to pressure you into choices that are not right for you. Do not borrow simply to impress people. Do not spend simply to escape emotions. Do not allow fear to push you into promises you do not understand. God can guide you toward responsible action. Sometimes the blessing begins with discipline. Sometimes the breakthrough begins with a decision to stop repeating the same pattern. Sometimes the miracle looks like wisdom arriving before a mistake is made. I want you to remember this: you are allowed to start small. A small step repeated consistently can become a great change. You do not need to transform your entire life overnight. You need to take the next wise step. Then another. Then another. My child, there may be a temptation to compare your journey with someone else's. Do not. Their timing is not your timing. Their resources are not your resources. Their story is not your story. You do not know what they had to overcome to reach where they are, and they do not know what you have carried. God is not late with your life. You may feel delayed, but delay is not always denial. Sometimes the foundation is being prepared before the visible structure appears. You may be in a season where very little seems to be happening, yet deep changes are taking place inside you. The patience you are learning will protect you later. The discernment you are developing will protect your future relationships. The discipline you are building will strengthen your finances. The boundaries you are learning will protect your peace. The prayers you have prayed in silence are shaping the person you are becoming. Write divine number 444 in the comments if these words bring you peace. My beloved, there is another truth I need you to understand. You cannot carry everyone. You cannot rescue everyone. You cannot solve every person's problems. You cannot force someone to change. You cannot make someone recognize your value. There comes a moment when love must include boundaries. Even Jesus withdrew to quiet places. Even the strongest servants of God needed moments of rest. You are not selfish because you need peace. You are not cruel because you say no. You are not unloving because you refuse to participate in something destructive. The enemy can use guilt as effectively as fear. He can whisper that if you protect yourself, you are abandoning others. But wisdom says you can care without becoming consumed. You can pray for someone without allowing their chaos to become your identity. There may be a person connected to you who constantly drains your confidence. Their words may make you question yourself. Their behavior may keep you emotionally exhausted. Ask God for wisdom about how to handle that relationship. You do not need revenge. You need clarity. Sometimes the most powerful response to manipulation is calmness. You do not need to explain yourself 10 times. You do not need to defend every decision. You can simply remain steady. People who depend on your emotional reaction may become confused when you stop giving them one. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $444. The link is pinned in the description above. My child, do not allow another person's inability to appreciate you to become evidence that you are unworthy. Your value is not decided by another person's opinion. Your identity is not determined by rejection. You belong to God. I see the wounds from words spoken against you. Perhaps someone called you incapable. Perhaps someone told you that you would never succeed. Perhaps someone laughed at your dreams. Those words may have remained inside your mind longer than you realized. But a sentence spoken by a human being does not have authority over the future God has placed before you. You can choose to stop repeating those words to yourself. You can choose a new inner voice. Instead of saying, "I cannot," begin asking, "What can I learn?" Instead of saying, "I always fail," say, "I can grow from what happened." Write divine number 555 in the comments if your heart feels strengthened. My beloved, I want you to remember that spiritual strength is not loudness. Sometimes spiritual strength is silence. Sometimes it is refusing to retaliate. Sometimes it is walking away. Sometimes it is forgiving privately and moving forward. There are battles that are won by not fighting them. There are arguments that become powerless when you refuse to participate. There are accusations that disappear when you remain consistent with the truth. You do not have to chase every shadow. I, Michael, stand as a reminder of courage. My sword represents truth. My armor represents readiness. My wings represent movement under divine command. And these symbols should remind you that you too must become ready to move when God gives direction. Do not stay in a place simply because you are afraid of change. Do not remain trapped because the unknown feels frightening. Ask God for wisdom about the next step. You may not know where the entire road leads, but you can know whether the next step is peaceful and wise. There is a difference between patience and paralysis. Patience waits with faith. Paralysis waits because of fear. Ask yourself which one has been controlling you. If you have been waiting for the perfect moment, understand that perfection may never come. Sometimes you begin with what you have. Sometimes you begin while still afraid. Courage does not mean you feel no fear. Courage means fear does not control the decision. My child, the Lord has not forgotten the promises you have prayed over. But you must also understand that God's timing may unfold differently from your expectations. Do not reduce divine guidance to one specific outcome. Be open to a better answer than the one you imagined. Perhaps you prayed for one door, but God is preparing another. Perhaps you prayed for one person to return, but God is healing you so that you no longer need them. Perhaps you prayed for immediate wealth, but God is teaching you the discipline that will allow you to handle greater responsibility. Do not despise the process. The process is where character is formed. The process is where patience becomes real. The process is where faith becomes more than words. The process is where you discover what you truly value. Write divine number 777 in the comments if you trust God's protection. My beloved, there are angels around your home. Imagine the atmosphere of peace that can exist when you stop feeding fear. Imagine waking up without immediately checking every problem. Imagine beginning your morning with gratitude instead of anxiety. Your environment matters. The conversations you constantly hear matter. The content you consume matters. The people you allow close to your heart matter. Protect your inner world. Not because you are fragile, but because your mind needs space to think clearly. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, your mind begins to expect negativity. If you constantly hear fear, fear becomes familiar. But if you intentionally make room for prayer, gratitude, learning, rest, and wisdom, your inner world can begin to change. You may not be able to change every external circumstance today. But you can change what you repeatedly allow into your thoughts. My child, I want you to release the need to predict everything. You do not need to know exactly what will happen tomorrow. You need to know who holds tomorrow. When you try to predict every possible problem, your mind creates hundreds of imaginary battles. You become exhausted fighting situations that may never happen. Instead, prepare wisely and then release what you cannot control. God does not ask you to carry tomorrow's weight today. Carry today's responsibility. Pray today's prayer. Take today's step. Give today's love. Then allow tomorrow to arrive when it arrives. There is a hidden strength in living one day at a time. You may discover that many things you feared never happened. You may realize that some problems solve themselves. You may see that some people you were afraid to lose were not actually meant to remain. You may find that the thing you thought would destroy you became the thing that strengthened you. That is why I tell you not to surrender your peace before the battle even begins. Write divine number 888 in the comments if you are ready to walk in faith. My beloved, I see the disappointment you have carried. There was something you wanted badly. You believed it would happen. You prayed. You waited. Then it did not happen the way you expected. You may have asked, God, why did you allow this? I want you to know that disappointment does not mean abandonment. Sometimes disappointment is simply the end of an expectation that was never the same as God's plan. Your heart may need time to accept that. Give yourself that time. You do not need to pretend that you were not hurt. Bring the hurt honestly to God. There is healing in honesty. Tell God exactly what you feel. Then ask Him to help you see what you could not see before. Ask Him to remove bitterness. Ask Him to restore your ability to hope. Do not allow one painful experience to become a prophecy about every future experience. One betrayal does not mean everyone will betray you. One failed relationship does not mean you will never experience healthy love. One financial setback does not mean you will always struggle. One mistake does not mean you are a failure. You are still becoming. The person you are today is not the final version of who you can become. My child, your future requires a healthier relationship with your own mind. Stop rehearsing every failure. Stop punishing yourself for mistakes you have already learned from. If you made a mistake, take responsibility. If you hurt someone, apologize. If you need to change, change. But do not spend the rest of your life sentencing yourself for something God is willing to forgive. Mercy is real. Grace is real. Restoration is real. There is still time to become wiser. There is still time to repair what can be repaired. There is still time to begin again. Write divine number 999 in the comments if you receive this blessing and receive God's peace today. My beloved, there is something beautiful happening when you begin to trust again. You stop looking at every opportunity as a trap. You stop expecting every person to hurt you. You stop interpreting every delay as rejection. Discernment does not mean suspicion. Discernment means wisdom. Ask God to give you eyes that see clearly without becoming cynical. A guarded heart can protect you, but a permanently closed heart can also prevent you from receiving healthy relationships and opportunities. You do not have to become cold because someone hurt you. You can become wise without becoming bitter. You can become careful without becoming afraid. You can forgive without forgetting the lesson. You can move forward without carrying hatred. This is part of your healing. My child, there are things that God may remove from your life because they are consuming energy that should be used for your purpose. You may have spent too much time explaining yourself to people who were never listening. You may have spent too much energy trying to convince someone to love you. Stop chasing what constantly runs from you. What is meant for your life should not require you to destroy yourself to keep it. There is a difference between fighting for something valuable and fighting to prove your worth. You do not need to prove that you deserve respect. You demonstrate your value by how you treat yourself, how you treat others, and how you respond to situations. My sword stands for truth, and truth does not need endless arguments. Let truth remain truth. Let falsehood expose itself. Let time reveal what words cannot. My beloved, the Lord is also teaching you about responsibility. Protection does not mean you can ignore wisdom. Prayer does not replace responsible action. Faith and wisdom can walk together. If something is dangerous, take sensible precautions. If something is financially risky, investigate it. If someone repeatedly behaves harmfully, establish boundaries. If your body needs rest, rest. If your mind is overwhelmed, slow down. God can guide you through practical wisdom. The spiritual and practical parts of your life do not need to compete. Your faith can inspire you to become more responsible, not less. You can pray and plan. You can believe and prepare. You can trust God and still ask questions. You can have faith and still use wisdom. My beloved, there is no shame in asking for help from trustworthy people. Sometimes God answers prayer through another person's knowledge, kindness, or experience. Do not isolate yourself because you believe you must handle everything alone. The enemy loves isolation because isolated people often believe their problems are unique. But many people have walked through what you are facing. You are not the first person to struggle. You are not the first person to rebuild. You are not the first person to start over. And you will not be the last. There is hope beyond what you currently see. My child, I want you to imagine yourself standing beneath a covering of divine light. Around you are not walls of fear, but boundaries of wisdom. Within those boundaries, you can breathe. You can think. You can pray. You can make decisions without panic. Let that image remind you that peace is something you can practice. When anxiety rises, slow your breathing. When anger rises, pause before speaking. When confusion rises, ask questions. When fear rises, return to prayer. When temptation rises, remember your values. When disappointment rises, remember your history of survival. You have made it through difficult moments before. This moment will not be larger than God. My beloved, there are things being rearranged in your life that you cannot yet understand. Some circumstances may feel unstable because the old structure is no longer strong enough to hold what comes next. Do not assume every disruption is destruction. Sometimes disruption is renovation. Sometimes what feels like chaos is the beginning of order. Sometimes the loss of one path creates space for another. Trust the process while remaining wise. I do not tell you to accept everything blindly. I tell you to stay close to God while you evaluate what is happening. Your discernment will become stronger as you practice it. Ask yourself, does this choice bring clarity or confusion? Does this relationship produce mutual respect or constant fear? Does this opportunity require wisdom or desperation? Does this decision align with the values you claim to hold? The answers may reveal more than you expect. My child, you are entering a season where your peace will become more valuable than approval. You will begin to realize that not everyone needs to understand you. Some people may never understand. That is okay. You are not required to make your life understandable to everyone. You are required to live it responsibly and faithfully. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $444. The link is pinned in the description above. There will be people who criticize your growth because your growth changes what they were able to receive from you before. Do not shrink simply to keep someone comfortable. Growth can change relationships. Growth can change priorities. Growth can change the way you spend your time. Growth can change what you tolerate. That is not always loss. Sometimes it is maturity. My beloved, I want you to release the belief that you have to suffer forever because of your past. You are allowed to experience joy again. You are allowed to laugh again. You are allowed to dream again. Your pain is part of your story, but it is not the whole story. The tears you cried were not proof that you were weak. They were evidence that you cared deeply. The fact that you still desire a better life means hope has not died inside you. Protect that hope. Feed it with gratitude. Strengthen it with action. Guide it with wisdom. Place it in God's hands. My child, there is a time to fight and a time to rest. Do not confuse exhaustion with spiritual failure. Even faithful people become tired. Rest is not surrender. Rest can be preparation. Your body needs sleep. Your mind needs quiet. Your heart needs moments where it is not solving everyone else's problems. Give yourself permission to breathe. You do not have to be productive every second to have value. Your worth does not disappear when you rest. God does not love you more because you are exhausted. My beloved, if you have been feeling as though you are carrying the entire world on your shoulders, release some of that weight. Give God what you cannot control. You can control your choices. You can control your effort. You can control your words. You can control whether you continue learning. You can control whether you forgive. You can control whether you seek wisdom. You cannot control everyone else's behavior. Release that. You cannot control every outcome. Release that. You cannot control the past. Release that. The future is not asking you to solve itself today. My child, there is a quiet victory happening every time you choose peace over panic. Every time you refuse to respond in anger, you are becoming stronger. Every time you say no to something that violates your values, you are becoming stronger. Every time you return to prayer instead of despair, you are becoming stronger. Every time you choose discipline instead of impulse, you are becoming stronger. Every time you get back up after disappointment, you are becoming stronger. These victories may not look dramatic, but they build the foundation of a transformed life. My beloved, heaven does not measure your life only by visible achievements. Character matters. Integrity matters. Compassion matters. Faithfulness matters. You may not have the biggest house, the most money, the perfect relationship, or the career you imagined, but you can still become rich in wisdom, kindness, courage, and peace. Do not allow the world's measurement system to become your spiritual measurement system. Some of the greatest victories happen inside a person before anyone else can see them. You may already be changing. You may already be healing. You may already be becoming the person you prayed to become. Give yourself credit for the progress that nobody applauded. My child, there is another layer to your protection, learning to recognize your own patterns. What repeatedly leads you into the same pain? What choices do you keep making when you are lonely? What promises do you make when you are angry? What decisions do you make when you are afraid? Understanding these patterns can help you interrupt them. God can give you wisdom, but you must be willing to examine yourself honestly. Do not only ask, "Who hurt me?" Also ask, "What did I learn?" Do not only ask, "Why did they leave?" Ask, "What do I need to become?" Do not only ask, "Why did this happen?" Ask, "How can I move forward wisely?" These questions can change your life. My beloved, the enemy would love to keep you trapped in the past because the past cannot be changed. But your future is still being written through your choices. You cannot change what happened. But you can change what happens next. You cannot erase every wound. But you can stop reopening it. You cannot control another person's apology. But you can choose whether bitterness controls your heart. You cannot force the past to become different. But you can allow God to make your future different. My child, I want you to understand the power of forgiveness. Forgiveness does not mean saying that what happened was acceptable. It means refusing to allow the event to control the rest of your life. Some people may never apologize. Some may never understand what they did. Some may never admit the truth. You can still heal. Forgiveness can be a private decision between your heart and God. You do not need to reopen a harmful relationship to forgive. You do not need to trust someone who has proven untrustworthy. Forgiveness and boundaries can exist together. My beloved, your heart is precious. Guard it, but do not imprison it. Let love enter through wisdom. Let friendship develop through consistency. Let trust be earned. Let promises be supported by actions. Let character reveal itself over time. You do not have to rush intimacy. Healthy relationships are not built by pressure. They are built through respect, honesty, patience, and mutual care. If someone constantly demands immediate access to your heart, be wise. If someone becomes angry because you need boundaries, be wise. If someone repeatedly makes promises without changing behavior, be wise. You are allowed to observe before you commit. My child, God can protect you through discernment just as much as through circumstances. Sometimes the miracle is not that the danger disappears. Sometimes the miracle is that you recognize it before entering it. Sometimes the miracle is not that someone changes. Sometimes the miracle is that you stop expecting them to. Sometimes the miracle is not that the old door opens. Sometimes the miracle is that you become strong enough to walk toward a new one. My beloved, I want you to carry this understanding with you. You are not powerless. You have choices. You have a voice. You have boundaries. You have wisdom. You have prayer. You have the ability to learn. You have the ability to change. And above all, you have God. Do not surrender your agency to fear. Do not allow one difficult season to convince you that your entire life is doomed. The future contains possibilities you cannot yet see. My child, there may be a revelation ahead in your life, something hidden becoming visible, something you have misunderstood becoming clear, something uncertain finally receiving an answer. When that happens, do not rush into reaction. Pause. Listen. Observe. Pray. Let the truth reveal itself fully. Not every revelation requires an immediate response. Sometimes the wisest response is silence while you process. Sometimes you need a night of rest before making a decision. Sometimes you need to speak with someone wise. Sometimes you need to gather more information. Faith does not require recklessness. My beloved, I want you to become difficult to manipulate because you have become deeply rooted in truth. Know what you believe. Know what you value. Know what your boundaries are. Know what you will and will not accept. When you know yourself, it becomes harder for someone else to define you. The enemy thrives on confusion about identity. But when you know that you are God's creation, you no longer need every person to validate you. You can receive praise without becoming dependent on it. You can receive criticism without being destroyed by it. You can accept correction without accepting shame. That is maturity. My child, there is a difference between conviction and condemnation. Conviction says, this needs to change. Condemnation says, you are worthless. God can correct you without destroying you. When you make a mistake, listen to the lesson without accepting the lie that you are beyond redemption. You can change. You can grow. You can begin again. My beloved, I have seen the way you have carried responsibilities quietly. There are things you have done for others that nobody thanked you for. There are sacrifices nobody noticed. There are moments when you kept going because you knew others depended on you. God sees those moments. You do not need applause from everyone. Your faithfulness matters even when it is invisible. But remember that being responsible does not mean refusing help. You are allowed to receive. You are allowed to be cared for. You are allowed to rest while someone else helps you. You are allowed to admit that you do not have every answer. My child, your life is not a race against everyone around you. Stop measuring your progress against people whose path you cannot fully see. Someone may appear ahead but be carrying a different burden. Someone may appear successful but be deeply unhappy. Someone may have reached a milestone you desire, but your journey may require a different preparation. Stay focused on your assignment. Stay focused on your growth. Stay focused on becoming healthier, wiser, kinder, and stronger. My beloved, the protection around you grows through wisdom, not superstition. Do not become obsessed with signs while ignoring obvious facts. Do not let fear convince you that every inconvenience is an attack. Sometimes a delay is simply a delay. Sometimes a mistake is simply a mistake. Sometimes a difficult person is simply a difficult person. You do not need to turn every ordinary problem into a spiritual battle. God can give you peace without requiring you to interpret everything as a supernatural warning. This is important, because wisdom keeps faith balanced. My child, when you pray, ask for peace that allows you to think clearly. Ask for courage that allows you to act responsibly. Ask for humility that allows you to admit when you are wrong. Ask for strength that allows you to walk away when necessary. Ask for compassion that allows you to forgive. Ask for discernment that allows you to recognize what is healthy. Ask for patience that allows the right things to unfold in the right time. My beloved, there is something waiting inside you that has not fully awakened yet. It is not a magical object. It is not a secret shortcut. It is your courage. You have been more resilient than you realize. Every challenge has taught you something. Every difficult conversation has taught you something. Every disappointment has revealed something. Every season of loneliness has shown you something about yourself. Take the lessons. Leave the unnecessary pain. You do not have to carry every memory as a burden. Some memories can become wisdom instead of wounds. My child, if someone betrayed you, learn from it without becoming betrayal. If someone lied to you, become more discerning without becoming dishonest. If someone abandoned you, become more self-reliant without becoming emotionally closed. If someone rejected you, become more secure without becoming arrogant. Let pain produce wisdom, not bitterness. My beloved, the Father knows what you need even when you cannot articulate it. Sometimes you think you need a person, but what you really need is healing. Sometimes you think you need money, but what you really need first is stability and wisdom. Sometimes you think you need immediate answers, but what you really need is peace while you wait. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $444. The link is pinned in the description above. Do not limit God's ability to answer by insisting that the answer must look one particular way. Be open. Be patient. Be ready. My child, the angels surrounding you are reminders that you do not walk through life without spiritual meaning. But you also have responsibilities within the physical world. Take care of your home. Take care of your relationships. Take care of your finances. Take care of your body. Take care of your mind. Take care of your spiritual life. These areas are connected. Neglect in one area can affect another. Balance is part of wisdom. My beloved, I see you entering a period where you may become more selective. You may stop explaining yourself so much. You may stop chasing people. You may stop spending money to impress others. You may stop saying yes when your heart knows the answer is no. That is not selfishness. That is maturity. You are learning that peace has a price, and sometimes that price is saying no. My child, there will be people who misunderstand your boundaries. Let them learn to understand them through your consistency. You do not need to become harsh. You simply need to become clear. Clear people are easier to respect. When your yes means yes and your no means no, your relationships become healthier. My beloved, I want you to know that God can restore what you thought was permanently lost, but restoration does not always mean receiving the exact same thing again. Sometimes restoration means receiving peace where there was pain, wisdom where there was confusion, confidence where there was shame, stability where there was chaos, hope where there was despair. That kind of restoration can change your entire life. My child, there may come a moment when you look back and realize that the thing you feared was actually the beginning of your freedom. You may realize that the rejection pushed you towards something better. You may realize that the ending forced you to grow. You may realize that the delay protected you. You may realize that the closed door gave you room to become ready for another. Do not rush to label your current season. Let it unfold. My beloved, there is a sacred strength in patience. Patience does not mean doing nothing. It means doing what is wise while refusing to force what is not ready. Plant. Prepare. Pray. Learn. Work. Rest. Then allow time to do its part. You cannot pull a tree upward by its branches to make it grow faster. Some things require roots before fruit. Your roots are being strengthened. My child, the unseen work matters. The habits nobody sees matter. The prayers nobody hears matter. The decisions nobody applauds matter. The moments when you choose integrity even though dishonesty would be easier matter. Those are the moments that build a life that can withstand pressure. My beloved, do not underestimate the power of small choices. A small saving habit can become stability. A small prayer can become a stronger relationship with God. A small boundary can protect years of peace. A small act of kindness can change someone's day. A small decision to stop repeating a harmful pattern can redirect an entire future. Never despise small beginnings. My child, when the next challenge arrives, remember this message. Do not immediately assume that it has come to destroy you. Ask what it is teaching you. Ask what it is revealing. Ask what action wisdom requires. Ask where you need stronger boundaries. Ask where you need deeper faith. Then respond. You do not need to be perfect. You need to be present. My beloved, Jesus understands what it means to carry suffering and still choose love. His example reminds you that pain does not have to make you cruel. You can suffer and remain compassionate. You can be disappointed and remain hopeful. You can be rejected and remain kind. You can be wounded and still choose healing. This is strength. My child, when your heart feels overwhelmed, remember that you can return to simple things. Take a breath. Drink water. Rest. Pray. Write down what you are worried about. Separate what you can control from what you cannot. Then take one step. You may be surprised how much lighter life feels when you stop trying to solve everything simultaneously. My beloved, the darkness wants you to believe that everything must be solved immediately. But urgency is not always truth. Sometimes urgency is fear. Wisdom asks you to slow down enough to see clearly. Do not let pressure make decisions that deserve peace. Do not let someone else's deadline become your spiritual emergency. Take time when time is available. My child, there are moments when you will need courage to say, I need more time. There are moments when you will need courage to say, I do not agree. There are moments when you will need courage to say, this is not healthy for me. There are moments when you will need courage to say, I forgive you, but I cannot continue this relationship in the same way. These sentences can be difficult. But they can also be liberating. My beloved, God is not asking you to become someone else. He is calling you deeper into who you were created to be. You do not need to copy another person's personality. You do not need to imitate another person's journey. You do not need to become louder to become powerful. Your strength may be quiet. Your faith may be quiet. Your growth may be quiet. Quiet does not mean insignificant. My child, some of the greatest transformations happen where nobody is watching. You decide to stop lying to yourself. You decide to stop chasing unhealthy attention. You decide to stop spending impulsively. You decide to stop reacting immediately. You decide to stop carrying shame. Those private decisions can become the foundation of a completely different future. My beloved, I want you to picture yourself standing after the storm. The ground may be wet. Some things may have changed. But you are standing. You look back and realize that you survived. Then you look forward and realize that there is still road ahead. That is where you are. Not at the end. Not forgotten. Not defeated. Still standing. Still learning. Still becoming. Still loved. My child, the Lord has not finished writing the lessons of your life. Do not close the book because one chapter was painful. Keep walking. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $444. The link is pinned in the description above. There is more to understand. There are relationships you have not yet formed. There are opportunities you have not yet encountered. There are lessons you have not yet learned. There are prayers you have not yet seen answered. There are moments of joy you cannot yet imagine. Do not surrender your future because of your past. My beloved, the angels around you remind you that protection can be present even when you cannot feel it. Their presence should encourage you to live with courage rather than fear. Walk carefully, but do not walk terrified. Trust God, but also use wisdom. Hope, but remain grounded. Dream, but prepare. Pray, but act. Rest, but do not give up. This balance will serve you. My child, I want you to release the thought that you are behind. Your life is not late. You are learning at the pace your journey requires. Some lessons take years. Some healing takes time. Some answers arrive after you have become strong enough to carry them. Be patient with yourself. You are not the person you were yesterday. You have learned. You have survived. You have grown. My beloved, there may be people who only remember your mistakes. Let them remember. God sees your transformation. You know the battles you have fought. You know the habits you are trying to change. You know the prayers you have whispered. You know how hard it has been to keep moving. Do not let someone else's outdated version of you become your current identity. My child, your next season requires you to believe that change is possible. You can learn new skills. You can develop new habits. You can improve your relationships. You can become more disciplined. You can become more peaceful. You can become more financially responsible. You can become more spiritually grounded. You can become more courageous. Growth is available. My beloved, there is no need to rush into tomorrow. Let today teach you what today needs to teach you. If there is something you need to apologize for, do it. If there is something you need to release, release it. If there is something you need to learn, learn it. If there is something you need to begin, begin. If there is something you need to stop, stop. The next chapter often begins with one decision. My child, I see the light around your life growing as you choose wisdom. Not because every problem disappears, but because your response becomes stronger. That is the protection I want you to understand. You are becoming less reactive. More thoughtful. More discerning. More patient. More aware. More grounded. And those qualities will protect you in ways you cannot yet measure. My beloved, when the unexpected arrives, remember that you do not have to panic. You can pause. You can breathe. You can pray. You can ask questions. You can seek wise counsel. You can make a decision when you have enough clarity. The enemy may want you to react instantly. Wisdom gives you permission to pause. My child, there is peace available to you even before circumstances change. Peace does not always mean the absence of problems. Peace can mean the presence of confidence that you will face what comes with wisdom. You do not need to know every answer. You need to trust that you can take the next step. My beloved, I want you to carry this message into your daily life as a reminder of courage, not fear. When you wake, remember that you are loved. When you work, remember that your effort matters. When you struggle, remember that difficulty is not permanent. When you fail, remember that failure can teach. When you succeed, remember gratitude. When you are alone, remember that loneliness is not the same as abandonment. When you are uncertain, return to prayer. My child, your heart has been through enough. Do not voluntarily feed it more fear. Be selective about what you allow into your mind. Choose words that strengthen rather than destroy. Choose people who respect rather than manipulate. Choose habits that build rather than consume. Choose environments that support rather than constantly drain. Your peace deserves protection. My beloved, I am not telling you that every future moment will be easy. I am telling you that difficulty does not have to defeat you. You have learned. You have endured. You have grown. And you will continue. The same God who carried you through the last season can carry you through the next. My child, the unseen battle is not something you need to obsess over. Your responsibility is to remain rooted in truth, love, wisdom, and faith. Do not spend your days looking for enemies. Spend your days becoming stronger. Do not search constantly for danger. Search for wisdom. Do not look for reasons to be afraid. Look for reasons to be grateful. This is how you reclaim your peace. My beloved, I see your future carrying a deeper understanding of yourself. You will become more comfortable saying no. You will become more patient with the right people. You will stop begging for attention from those who do not value you. You will learn that love should not require humiliation. Respect should not require begging. Peace should not require constant sacrifice. And faith should not require you to abandon wisdom. My child, when you look back, you will understand that many moments you called endings were actually transitions. The relationship ended, but healing began. The opportunity ended, but preparation began. The plan failed, but a better idea began. The old identity ended, but a stronger one began. Do not fear transitions. They are uncomfortable because you are between what was and what will be. My beloved, you are not empty because something left. You are making space. Space for wisdom. Space for peace. Space for healthier relationships. Space for new opportunities. Space for a stronger relationship with God. Space for the person you are becoming. My child, the Father knows how to restore order where you see chaos. You may not understand how everything will come together, but you do not have to. Your task is faithfulness. Do what is right in front of you. Take care of what has been entrusted to you. Be honest. Be kind. Be wise. Be patient. And let God handle what lies beyond your reach. My beloved, when fear tells you that everything is falling apart, look again. Perhaps some things are falling into place. Perhaps the old structure is finally losing its power. Perhaps you are becoming strong enough to leave what once controlled you. Perhaps the uncertainty is creating room for a different future. Do not judge the whole story from one difficult page. My child, there is still light ahead. Even if you cannot see it clearly, keep walking toward truth. Even if you feel tired, take one step. Even if you are disappointed, keep your heart open to healing. Even if someone hurt you, refuse to become the person who hurt you. Even if your plans changed, remember that your purpose can survive a changed plan. My beloved, I stand as Michael, servant and defender under God's authority, reminding you that courage is available to you. You do not need to become fearless. You need to become faithful. You need to become wise. You need to become willing to act when the right moment comes. You need to become willing to wait when the right moment has not yet come. That is discernment. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $444. The link is pinned in the description above. My child, there is a future version of you who will be grateful that you did not give up during this season. That future version will look back and say, I am glad I kept going. You may not see that person yet, but you are building that person now. Every decision matters. Every lesson matters. Every prayer matters. Every time you choose hope over despair, you move closer. My beloved, your life is not defined by one moment. Not by one loss. Not by one mistake. Not by one rejection. Not by one difficult season. You are larger than your worst day. You are more than your mistakes. You are more than your circumstances. You are God's creation, still growing, still learning, still becoming. My child, let this be the moment you stop speaking against yourself. Stop saying that you are incapable. Stop saying that you are cursed. Stop saying that nothing good ever happens to you. Your words shape your attention. Speak with honesty, but also with hope. Say, I am learning. Say, I am growing. Say, I can make wiser choices. Say, I can begin again. Say, God can guide me. These words do not magically erase problems, but they can help you approach problems from a healthier place. My beloved, when you feel overwhelmed, return to the basics. Prayer. Rest. Wisdom. Action. Patience. Gratitude. Boundaries. Community. These are simple, but simple does not mean weak. A strong life is often built from simple things repeated consistently. My child, I want you to remember the feeling of this message not as fear, but as reassurance. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are not without choices. You are not without hope. You are not without guidance. And you are not required to carry everything by yourself. God sees you. God knows you. God hears you. My beloved, the light around you does not need to compete with darkness. Light simply shines. You do not need to argue with every negative voice. You do not need to defeat every critic. You do not need to prove every truth. Live honestly. Let consistency speak. Let character speak. Let time speak. My child, if someone misunderstands you, remain grounded. If someone rejects you, remain grounded. If someone praises you, remain grounded. If someone criticizes you, remain grounded. Do not allow other people's opinions to control the center of your identity. Your identity must be deeper than public approval. My beloved, the day will come when you realize that peace was one of the greatest blessings you ever received. Not possessions. Not attention. Not status. Peace. The ability to sleep without replaying every conflict. The ability to wake without dread. The ability to make decisions without panic. The ability to love without constantly fearing abandonment. The ability to walk away without hatred. That is freedom. My child, protect that freedom. Do not trade it cheaply. Do not return to chaos simply because chaos is familiar. Do not confuse familiarity with destiny. Something can be familiar and still be unhealthy. Something can be new and still be good. Let wisdom guide you. My beloved, God can lead you into places where your old fears no longer control you. You may discover that you are capable of things you once thought impossible. You may speak up. You may start again. You may change your environment. You may learn something new. You may build something slowly. You may become financially wiser. You may form healthier relationships. You may experience peace you have never known. Remain open. My child, the enemy does not need to destroy you if he can convince you to destroy yourself through hopelessness. So refuse hopelessness. When something fails, learn. When someone leaves, heal. When money becomes difficult, become wiser. When plans change, adapt. When fear rises, pray. When anger rises, pause. When confusion rises, seek clarity. This is how you keep moving. My beloved, I have seen many people survive what they thought would destroy them. You are capable of survival too. But I do not want you merely to survive. I want you to learn how to live. Live with purpose. Live with gratitude. Live with boundaries. Live with courage. Live with compassion. Live with faith. My child, the future does not need a perfect version of you. It needs an honest version of you who is willing to keep growing. You do not need to know everything. You need to remain teachable. You do not need to control everything. You need to remain responsible for your choices. You do not need everyone to approve. You need to remain faithful to what is right. My beloved, this is the protection I want you to carry, not a shield made from fear, but a shield made from truth. Truth that you are loved. Truth that you can learn. Truth that you can change. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $444. The link is pinned in the description above. Truth that you can begin again. Truth that God sees what you cannot see. Truth that your past does not own your future. My child, when the next unexpected moment arrives, remember these words. Do not panic. Do not assume the worst. Do not surrender your peace. Stand. Breathe. Pray. Observe. Choose wisely. Then move. The light is with you. The Lord is with you. And you can face what comes without becoming what fear wants you to become. My beloved, I want you to know that you are still here for a reason. The story has not ended. There is still work to do inside your heart, still healing to receive, still wisdom to gain, still love to give. Do not rush past this season without learning from it. Ask God what this season is trying to teach you. Ask what needs to be released. Ask what needs to be strengthened. Ask what needs to begin. Then listen. Sometimes the answer arrives quietly. My child, there may be a moment when something hidden becomes clear. When that happens, remember that clarity is a gift. Do not use new information to create revenge. Use it to make wiser decisions. You do not need to punish anyone. You need to protect your future. You do not need to expose every person who hurt you. You need to stop giving them access to your peace. That is enough. My beloved, the angels remain around you as reminders of divine protection. But the greatest protection is learning to walk in wisdom. Your decisions matter. Your habits matter. Your relationships matter. Your words matter. Your attention matters. Choose carefully what receives your energy. You cannot give everything your attention and still have peace. My child, let some things remain unanswered. Not every question deserves an immediate answer. Not every mystery needs to be solved. Not every person needs to be understood. Sometimes acceptance is simply saying, I do not know why this happened, but I will not allow it to destroy my future. That is strength. My beloved, you may have thought that you needed a dramatic sign. Perhaps what you really needed was a quiet reminder. You are loved. You are seen. You are capable of change. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to begin again. You are allowed to protect your peace. You are allowed to hope. My child, carry these words into the ordinary parts of your life. Carry them when you work. Carry them when you drive. Carry them when you sit quietly. Carry them when you face a difficult conversation. Remember that spiritual strength becomes real through daily choices. Not only through extraordinary moments. My beloved, I will close this message with one final reminder: do not allow fear to become your prophet. Fear predicts disaster. Faith prepares for possibility. Wisdom prepares responsibly. Hope keeps the heart open. Let those qualities guide you. You do not need to know everything that lies ahead. You need to trust that you can meet it with God's help, wisdom, courage, and a heart that refuses to surrender. My child, your story continues. Your healing continues. Your growth continues. Your protection continues. Your relationship with God can deepen. Your future can still surprise you. There are blessings you have not recognized yet because they are hidden inside lessons. There are opportunities you have not seen because you are still healing. There are doors that may open when you become ready to walk through them. There are people you have not met who may become important parts of your future. There are moments of joy still waiting to become memories. Do not give up before you reach them. If these divine messages and guidance from God and Archangel Michael bring peace, light, and protection to your life, and you wish to support our mission, you can express your gratitude by giving a special thanks or contribution of up to $444. The link is pinned in the description above. My beloved, stand in peace. Stand in truth. Stand in wisdom. Stand in faith. Let the sword of truth cut through confusion. Let the shield of faith protect your heart from despair. Let the wings of courage carry you beyond the places where fear kept you trapped. And let God's love remain the foundation beneath every step. You are not required to know the entire road. Only the next step. Take it with courage. Take it with wisdom. Take it with prayer. Take it with peace. And when the next step becomes visible, take that one too. My beloved child of light, may your heart become calm, your mind become clear, your decisions become wise, and your spirit become stronger. May what needs to leave your life leave with peace. May what needs to remain become stronger. May what needs healing receive patience. May what needs courage receive strength. May what needs wisdom receive clarity. And may you remember, even in moments when everything feels uncertain, that you are not walking alone. God sees you. God knows you. God loves you. And the light that has carried you this far can carry you forward. God bless you. Before you leave this message, God wants to remind you of His word in Deuteronomy 14 verse 22, be sure to set aside 1/10 of all that your fields produce each year. I am the Lord your God. Everything in heaven and on earth belongs to me. I call upon you today to honor my commandment, sow a seed of 10% of all that you earn this month, into this ministry. The link is pinned at the top of the description box below where you can support this ministry and sow your seed. Do not withhold what is holy to me. Bring your tithes to advance my kingdom and rescue lost souls. Step out in faith and obey my voice, for every seed you sow in my name will not be forgotten, and your reward shall be great in heaven for eternity. Sow your 10% seed today, right at this moment, my beloved chosen one. If you have obeyed God's command and sown your 10% seed today, reply with, "I have sown," in the comments section below.